Hi, this is Glenda. I've been playing with a new stamp set and some foiling, and I just thought I'd share something I came up with that I haven't seen anybody else do. So, to start with the story of this stamp, thank you Teresa from Lost in Paper. I wasn't going to buy this and I saw your video and I kind of had to have it. She just used some pretty colours. I had seen videos on this when it came out last year, and it was, yeah, okay, another stamp. But I really like the things, or the cards she did with it, so I kind of bought it. It's a bit of a splurge, this one, if you get the stamp and die. It wasn't cheap. So anyway, it's from Concord and 9th, and it's called Bloom's Fill-In, I think, something like that. So anyway, here's the first card I made, and my lighting here is probably not great, but that's kind of similar to what other people were doing. And then Jennifer Maguire a little while back showed embossing, when you've got a matching die, embossing instead of cutting. And I don't know how well you can see that I've embossed around these two flowers, which I have to say was not what I was trying to do. What I thought was, wouldn't it be pretty to foil that embossing? So this is what I haven't seen people do. It's to do this embossing with your die, but add some foil when you do it. And it was really quite easy, with a few provisos. It always amazes me how often people tell you to make sure your foil is the right way up. Well, I not only foiled my die once, but I foiled it twice. I haven't actually been very well, and I think that's my excuse as to why I fluffed it up so much. But anyway, that's what I did. I think also because I was assembling my sandwich away from the machine. Normally what I would do is put my foil stamp down and then my foil and then my paper, and I remember which way to do it. But because I was assembling this away and then putting it in the machine, it had to be back to front, so I kept putting my foil upside down. The other thing is to make sure you know what settings you need to go through your die cutter so you don't end up with a mess like this. What I found is I will have a big play with my foiling machine and think I remember everything. I'll leave it for a month, I'll come back and find I remember nothing. I use the Cheerylin crossover machine, which has the dial instead of lots of different plates, and I found for my my foiling, if I put a foil stamp, my foil and paper, I don't need any shims. You open the machine up to number 18, which is almost as full as it goes, and that works out perfectly. To do a die, I found, again, no shims, but I needed it on 17, and then I got absolutely perfect foiling and impression. So I was really quite pleased, and I've now written that down so that next time when I come back in a number of weeks and can't remember how to do it, I will have a note. I don't know why I haven't been writing more notes all along, because there is a learning curve with it. And anyway, so this very simple technique is you simply want some removable tape, which I should have found the end of before I started, and I may have to pause this if I don't find it soon, find the end and come back. Oh goodness. Plan B, get a different roll. Okay. So, line your die up, which I thought was going to be easier than it is on this. Also the lining, stamping the actual flower part I found really hard to line up. find a spot that looks as flat as you can get, and you make that basically your hinge spot. And you take your piece of foil, and it is dull side to the paper, shiny side to the foil, to the die. I've got a bit much there, but yes, the coloured side goes to the die. So then you just put that through your hot machine, and instead of just the impression, you get the foil. So that was that idea, and as I said, I haven't seen anybody else do it. My apologies if somebody else has, but I watch a lot of videos and I haven't seen it. The other thing, which I meant to grab a stamp, I have a lot of trouble with placement on this thing. So I would put my stamp down, and then I'd put my foil on. It's not big enough, but you get the idea. And then I'd get my bit of paper, and getting it lined up and straight has been driving me nuts. Most of the demos I've seen, they're using a scrap of paper, they're going to recut it out. I want to do it onto my card front. So what I did was trace around what was my most standard card front, and you could have more than one if you do lots of different sizes, but I basically make this size. Then I can use the lines on it. I can line up, because this is words, I want it to be straight. Then I can put my foil down and put my card in the same spot and know where it's going to be on the finished product. You do have to remember that you're reversed, so if you want it on the left, you put it on the right, kind of thing. But that was my other hint that equally I haven't seen anybody suggest. So my crafting level's at about 10% at the moment, which is very sad. But anyway, I finally made something to share, so Happy New Year, well into January, and thanks for watching.